Hello everyone, and I wanted to go over week one's grading. I finished the discussions and to point out some of the things that I found during the grading process, and then we'll go over week two and go over some of the things that are expected of you during week two. So let's go ahead and get started with week one. Alright, for your discussion questions, first of all, I'm feeling some frustration from some of the students about not understanding how to get to certain things and how to post certain things. So what I would say to you is contact me via email, and I will try to help you out as much as possible. If it needs to be a phone call, I'll call you. If that doesn't work, then we'll set up a one-on-one Kaiser Live so I can show you on screen what I'm talking about and you can see it live. And it would not be recorded for everybody else to see. It would just be you and I in the classroom to look at whatever problems you're experiencing. Okay, so for the discussions, everybody did really well this week, and I'm very surprised because usually in this class a lot of people are just coming back to school, so they're having difficulties, but everybody did really well this week. Make sure that you're reading the questions and answering them completely. If you're answering your questions and you're a little off track, I will respond and ask you questions to get you back on track. And then once I see that you're on track, I will let you know that, okay, you're good, or I will re-ask the question in another way to try to get you to answer it even further because you didn't quite get to where I needed you to be. All of your posts must be 100 words or more, so don't lose credits because of that, or points because of that. Some of the problems I've seen in spelling and grammar are when you're referring to yourself and you're using the letter I, it must be an uppercase I and not a lowercase I, so make sure that you know that. Hyphenating words, knowing when to use a and an. If it's before a word that sounds like a vowel, it should be an. Anything else, it should be a. Knowing when to place commas, when not to place commas. And be careful of spacing. Make sure you're rereading your post before you post it so that the spacing is there and words aren't combined so they don't make so that they come together and don't make sense, and it results in a spelling error. From APA, I know that this is a foreign entity to most of you. I was brought up in a program with MLA, so I had to learn APA when I got here. Basically what you're doing is you're telling your reader, when you cite information that you're using from somebody else in your textbook, for instance, when you're writing your paper on problem solving, you are using the problem solving process from the textbook. So at minimum, you should be citing the authors of the textbook, and that tells your reader that you've used some information, writing, or research that the authors have done to make your point. Now, if the reader wants to know more on that subject, there's a corresponding reference down below that tells all the information on that book and where to go find more information on that. So that's what citations and references do. And in APA, they have to be formatted a certain way. And so if you review the APA resources located in the program resources in the classroom under APA, there's a document called References and Citations with a PowerPoint. It tells you all the different types. So if you're not necessarily using the textbook and you're using the internet, there's a way to format that. So go look at that. View the video if you're doing your paper to how to set up your paper. DeVore. DeVore is just an example of how to do a citation or a reference. That is not the reference for the textbook. So I would suggest at minimum go to the APA resources to references and citations, go to slide 6, and it will show you how to format your citation and your reference for two authors, which is what your book has. Spelling and grammar, there's a tutorial video on how to write your discussion post in Word, conduct a grammar spelling check, making changes as you go, then it will show you how to copy your writing from Word and paste it into a discussion thread. By doing this, you will ensure that you're not making spelling errors, grammatical errors, punctuation errors, and reducing the amount of points that will be reduced from your grade. Now let's go to week 2. The written assignment, most of you have provided me with your proof of submission to the OWL as well as their suggested comments. So once you submit your paper to the OWL, you will receive a confirmation. You can send that to me if you like. If not, I don't need it. But I would, you know what, I would like to have that so that I can at least see that you submitted it. Then when you get your paper back from the OWL with the suggested changes, forward that to me as well. I'll put that in your file. And then when I grade your paper next week, I'll have all that information on file, because that's part of the rubric for the week 1 assignment. While I'm there, we might as well go over that. You won't have this. This is in mine, but I'm going here to show you what the week 1 assignment rubric looks like, so you know what you'll be graded upon. Okay, so there's a word requirement, and it must be at least 200 and let me blow this up. At least 250 words to be proficient. 200 words you'll be competent. 150 words you'll be a novice, so you'll be at 30 points. And then did you identify all the steps in the 5-step program, and did you identify them correctly? And you will receive points based on this. Grammar, again, spelling and grammar. Did you provide reference title page? Did you provide in-text citations? Did you provide a separate reference page? So the title page should be separate, the reference page should be separate, the in-text citation should be within the body of your paper. I do not need an abstract, and I do not need a conclusion. And then proof of OWL and that you submitted it. So I'll have the confirmation, and then I will also have the suggested changes. Now, the whole reason we go through this exercise is so that you can find out how to improve your paper. You should incorporate those changes into your final draft before submitting it to me. I've had people who submit it to the OWL, they get the suggestions and submit the same paper they submitted to the OWL. It makes no sense to submit it to the OWL then. Make the changes that they suggested, then place it into the week 1 written assignment for grading. Okay, now we're going to go on to, and everybody did the quiz, so let's go on to week 2 and go over that real quick. So your reading assignment this week is chapters 9, 10, and 11, body mechanics, infection control, and environmental safety. Now, the one thing I will tell you about environmental control, let me get to the discussion question so we can get into that. The first discussion question is asking you Chapter 10 discusses infection control and its importance. In your own words, what is the importance of infection control in the healthcare arena? Then they want you to, and this is where everybody usually messes up, list at least one way that you can help to break each element in the chain of infection. So, if you look at the illustration, I think it's 10-4 on page 229, there's an illustration of the chain of infection. It'll show you each link within the chain. And out to the side of each link, there are several ways of breaking that individual link. So what I need you to do is tell me what each link is, along with one way of breaking each link. If you have any questions, please contact me, because that's where everybody messes up. So I will be asking questions if you're not meeting that to get you back on track. The second post or question says, review the most common types of healthcare hazards on page 269, table 11-1. What does environmental safety mean? In all honesty, how do you think you might react to workplace violence, such as being cursed at or spoken to in a loud, demeaning manner? Do you feel that your reaction to the workplace violence is appropriate and professional? Any suggestions on how to properly respond to workplace violence? And again, refer back to your reading in chapter 11 to show me that you are doing your reading and that you are understanding your reading. And then you have your responses to your fellow students. For those of you, for contribution to discussion, if you do 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, you'll get the grade of good. I think it's 19 points because you met the requirement. If you want the full credit for that section, you need to post at least 5 or more posts on 3 separate days, going above and beyond the required number of posts, and you will receive full credit for that. Now, back to week 2. So that covers discussions. And then week 2 assignment. This is a preparation assignment for your week 3 assignment for OSHA. So you can take this assignment as many times as you like until you receive the grade that you're happy with. And like I said, this will get you ready for your OSHA assignment next week. Then you have your weekly quiz, so make sure you do that. And this week, your week 1 assignment is due. So like I said, when you get the suggested changes from the OWL, make sure that you incorporate those into your final draft and then upload it for grading so that we can go ahead and get this out of the way. You will have another written assignment in week 4. For that assignment, you will not have to submit it to the OWL. I highly recommend that you do, but it's not required. So for this one, just go ahead and incorporate the changes, make your final draft, and upload it. And for those of you who don't know how to upload it, you click in here, and then right here where it says week 1 written assignment, click here for Dropbox. You click on that. You scroll down, and if you stored it in cloud, you can go to the cloud and pull it up that way. Just remember where you stored it, or you can browse My Computer if you stored it on your computer and pull it up that way. So when you do that, it will attach the document, and then once it's attached, you hit submit, just kind of like you did with the OWL. And that's it. Alright, so that's it for week 2. If you have any questions, please give me a call, email me, whatever we need to do. I will talk to you on the phone. I will set up a one-on-one Kaiser Live if that works for you. I'm here to help you, so please do not feel like you're out there all alone. And you guys have a great week. Thank you.